Hello and welcome to a new tutorial. This time we're going to make a logo animation in After Effects. Let's see the preview of this tutorial. I start with creating a new composition. You need to click here and I name it the main comp. The size is 1920 by 1080 pixels. The frame rate is 30 seconds and the duration also 30 seconds. And I choose a nice blue. The color doesn't really matter, you can choose your own color. And then I press OK. Now I take the text tool here on the toolbar above and I type in reveal. You can choose your own word, of course. And then I go to align here, but if you can see it, you need to go to window and then choose align. And then I will place it in the middle of the canvas. Now you can see it because my caps locks are on, so if I set it off, then you see again the reveal text. And now I go to my reveal layer here and I press P on my keyboard to go to position. And let's say that I set it to 2 seconds and then I set the stopwatch on. I go to the beginning of the timeline and I go to under so that the text is outside of the composition. And if we play it, then you can see already animation, but it is really slow, so I take the last keyframe and I will drag it to the first keyframe to make the speed a little bit smoother. It can also a little bit more. That's good. And now what I'm gonna do is I select both keyframes and I ease it, and I do this by pressing F9 on my keyboard or with my right mouse, keyframe assistant, and then easy ease. And now the animation is smoother like this. That's really good. And now I will close this, and now I want to duplicate this and I want a separate layer for each letter, so I need to duplicate this 5 times in total so that we have 6 layers. I do this with Ctrl D. Like this, I set all the layers off except the top one. Here in my case I reveal 6. And now what I'm gonna do is I select the layer, I go to the rectangle tool and I want to mask each letter separately on a layer. I press enter on this layer to rename this to R. You can do also right mouse click and then rename. Then I set the top one layer off and I go to the second one. I select the layer again, I take again rectangle tool, and now I want to mask letter E like this, and again rename this to keep it organized, and I do this for all the letters. So, and now I set all the layers on and each letter is on a separate layer, if you can see. And now it is still the same, and now what I'm gonna do is I select all the layers except the R layer, the first layer. So then I zoom in on the timeline and I set this 2 frames further. Then I select again all the layers except the first one and the second one, and I go again 2 frames further in the timeline, and I do this with all the layers. the last one. I do this so that every layer starts on another frame, if that makes sense. I will show it to you like this. I will play it again. I press here so that I don't have a layer selected, and then I take again the rectangle tool and I set the fill on and the stroke off. The color doesn't matter, and then I go further on the timeline to see the whole text, and then I create a rectangle over the whole text layer. All the letters need to be covered. Then I go to the mode. If you can't see the mode, you need to select here toggle switches modes, or you need to press right mouse, then columns, and then you can choose here modes. I set the mode to Stencil Alpha, and what this does is it will reveal only in the rectangle that you just drawed. So let's see. That looks really good, and if you want you can take the white selection tool and then you can adjust the size a little. And this is our text reveal. I go to 10 frames because then it ends my reveal, text reveal. And then I press N on my keyboard to trim this timeline so that it don't play it further. You can make it also a little bit longer if you want, that you can read the reveal words a little bit longer. And now I go to my right mouse and I set here trim com to work area, and this trims the work area. And now I go to composition and I render always with Adobe Media Encoder, because then you can do other things in After Effects while it is rendered. So I will open this, it can take a while. So, and here you can choose the map where you want to save it, and I go to my place that I want to save it, and now I press here on the green button to render it. Sometimes it takes a while, but this time it doesn't because it is a short animation, and now it is rendered. And then if you go to your map where you saved it, you can see the end result. And now we have our own reveal text animation. Let me know in the comments which logo I need to animate, and if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I hope you liked this video and I hope I see you by the next tutorial. Thanks for watching.